Tom drops a new staff spotlight, Ordinem competition explodes, Lemon Club wraps with a bang, Hodl pays out huge, and you can win 10,000 bull in today's exclusive viewer giveaway. Let's dive in. First up, our Director of Operations, Tom, is here to introduce us to the incredible mind behind the mission.
Welcome, Michael, to Staff Spotlight. It's your turn this week, mate. Thanks for coming along.
Thanks, Tom.
First question straight off the bat is, what is your bull name and how did you come to choose that name?
My bull name is Credible. I came to choose that name because I'm very pragmatic, very real, and I don't like to suggest or do anything that's not real. So yeah, it's very much part of my DNA.
What do you think is one part of your role that people might be surprised to learn about?
John and I go back 35 plus years. People may not understand the depth of that relationship, how innately we understand each other. Where my value to the business comes in is that creativity comes with its own host of challenges. People who are creative are the people who ultimately change the world, and I'm a great believer in that, and I don't feel as though I personally have much to offer on that front. But behind every creative needs to be the people who actually make that vision come to life. We all contribute, and I see my role as being very much that sounding board. The founders can bounce ideas off and get thoughts on strategic directions that they're coming up with, creative ideas and concepts that we're exploring as a business.
Do you have a particular favourite stage of the development process, and what is it and why?
There's a couple of good stages. The first one's a funny one. Most of the ideas for the games come from the founders, and it's when those ideas are at their fledgling or initial phase that I find is often really exciting. Dogs of War, which I thought was just an awesome idea the first time I heard it. And then the next phase of the game is of course when that vision forms some sort of reality, that imagination comes to life in a tangible format.
I think we've all been in a meeting with Jono where mid-meeting somebody said something that's triggered this idea for a new game. Write that down.
Well, I've done 35 years of dealing with that stuff with him, so he knows how I'm going to respond in advance half the time.
Michael, what's your favourite memory so far working with the PLAYA3ULL Games team?
Seeing our first game on the Epic Game Store and seeing it run to #1 in terms of downloads, that was really exciting because once the vision becomes reality, you can really believe it. It was Nexus that achieved that initially. I'd love to see that happen again with Dogs of War, where we're able to let people know, hey, you've just downloaded the #1 game for this week on the Epic Game Store.
It is a beautiful thing when it all comes together like that. If someone joined our team tomorrow, what advice would you give them, Michael?
Deliver.
That's good. Let's move on.
That's it. Just deliver. Just do what you say you can do. Otherwise, don't say you can do it.
That's a fair call. Good advice. Well, what fuels your workday? Is it coffee, tea, or something a little bit more unusual, Michael? Trying to dig down into that person.
I only really have probably 1, maybe 2 coffees a day, and I'll have a tea in the morning. I do like a Vietnamese soup, a pho. If I have one of those for lunch, they'll help me get through the day. Okay,
good. Thanks for that little nugget. If you could swap jobs with anyone else in PLAYA3ULL Games for a day, who would that be and why?
Well, it'd have to be Jono, wouldn't it? He just gets to think without restraint or the confines of reality. Yeah,
it does sound like fun parameters.
He's got the best job in the world.
Lack of parameters, yeah. No, it's good. Yeah, fair call.
To be fair, I'd love to have the skills that our game devs have. I couldn't code if my life depended on it to program and create things and create outcomes through the work that our devs do, I guess.
It's my final question. Do you have a hidden talent or a fun fact that you want to share with us? I know there's certainly a few stories get around about you, but they might not be safe for this video.
I'm pretty good at voice acting, quite good at putting on accents and voices, and it appears that my oldest daughter has picked up that skill. She has a knack she watches a bit of TV from the UK, and she's got a knack of putting on an Essex accent or a Manchester accent. It's probably about my only hidden skill.
I'll be to remember that one for the future. Thanks for that. That one hasn't been a story that I've ever been told.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, no, we don't want to share the other story.
No, we'll keep those out of this. All right, Michael, thanks so much for being a good sport and giving us a few insights there. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problems. Thanks, Tom.
Here's what went down in the Playable community this week. Another exciting week in the world of Ordinem. This week's tournament featured top-tier strategic gameplay, as players competed in a single elimination, best-of-3 format. With 25,000 bull on the line, tensions were high and the decks were sharp. In the end, it was Oleg who claimed first place, with Wheezy securing second, both showing outstanding skill and composure. Beyond the competition itself, one of the highlights of the week was the buzzing Ordinem voice hangout. Players came together to support each other, laugh, and talk strategy in real time, showcasing what makes this community truly unique. The Lemon Club wrapped up its latest season with a heartfelt send-off. From casual hangouts to intense games of Uno and surprise rewards, the Lemon season was filled with laughs, camaraderie, and unforgettable memories. Congratulations to this season's Lemon Prize winner, who took home a solid chunk of bull. Where is the Lemon draw, you may ask? It will return next week, extra special and evolve. Want in on the next Lemon season? Show up, spread positivity, and stay active. The community is always watching for the next great Lemon to rise. A special shout out this week to Sergioen, who scored their first ever major hodl payout, a grand total of 210,000 bull across 2 separate rewards. This kind of milestone is a great reminder that holding bull and being a part of the ecosystem pays off, literally. The entries are in, the votes are tallied, and the community truly showed up for our latest merch contest. From full drip outfits to hilarious and heartfelt submissions, this contest was a huge success. The winning entry, we're keeping that under wraps until next week, so make sure to tune in to our next video to see who scored the top prize. This week saw even more new faces joining the conversation, engaging in voice channels, helping others in support, and showing up across all game spaces. The energy right now in the playable community is something special, and we're grateful for every one of you contributing to it. If you're looking for a way to contribute more, consider joining one of our game councils, hopping into voice during tournaments, or starting a positive initiative of your own. There's always space for new ideas and fresh leadership. Now it's time for our viewer giveaway. Tell us in the comments, if you could create your very own Ordinem card, what would it be called and what would it do? Be sure to include your Discord name with your answer. One lucky fan who comments will win a prize of 10,000 bull. Don't miss your chance. See you in the channels, and until next time, stay bullish. And that's a wrap for the latest deep dive. But the journey doesn't end here. Want to shape the future of playable games? Jump into our Discord. Ask questions, share feedback, or just come say hi. Where you're curious about nodes, Bullcoin, or getting your hands on early access, our crew and the community have your back 24/7. Hit subscribe, join the revolution, and we'll see you in the games.